Hello everyone and welcome to the 12th episode of my GTA Online commentary series, and this is going to be my third and updated apartment and garage tour. So this is where I used to live in Richards Majestic, and I've decided to now move across the road into the Weasel Plaza apartments. Now I've always liked one of the views from one of the apartments in here, but I decided to go for the Richards Majestic one when I first got my apartment. But now with all of the new apartments coming out and one of them being in Richards Majestic, I just wanted a bit of a change, so I decided to go for Weasel Plaza, where there aren't any of the brand new apartments, so it should be a little bit less chaotic, and where there's a really nice view on the top floor where I am. So I'll show you the view because the apartment is just the same. You know, I wasn't really bothered about getting any one of the new interiors, and especially the fact that there's only 5 of them and everybody will be having them. So this is the view that I have. It's quite a nice view. You can see all sort of the observatory up there. You can see the Vinewood sign of a lot of the city, a lot of upper Vinewood as well. Then you've obviously got the skyscrapers in the middle of the city that you can see, which are quite nice, and the hills in the background. And this has always been a view that I've quite liked as well. And then when you come over to this side, you can see the beach, the airport, all that kind of industrial section over there. A few taller buildings, and then the skyscrapers again. So it's quite a nice view. The only thing that I'm missing is not being able to see the Ferris wheel from quite a distance, which I could in my old apartment. But in general, I'm happy with the view, and that's just a nice little bit of a change really. So let's get on to the main thing straight away, and that is my first garage, and that is the one that you've been asking for this for quite a while. So you know, it has taken me a while to do, and to be honest, this isn't even fully sorted out yet. But a few of the spots are, and a few of the places are. So first up, and we've got the Feltzer and the Massacro sitting pride of place in the front. Those are my two favourite cars. And then we've got the Banshee and the Stinger GT up next. Now those three, apart from the Massacro, all those 4 cars at the front have survived the trip from my old building. So obviously the Massacro is the newest, and that's one of my favourite cars. The Banshee, which is a sort of ode to GTA 3, which I've mentioned in my old apartment tour video, which I will link down below. And then these 2 spots here with the Futo and the Felon, those are testing spots at the moment. Those are just free spots that I have different cars in at various times that I might be testing out and just testing various things on them. So at the back, these cars are set in stone here. These are the sort of the big cars that are the best for their racing. So you've got the Bison on the left, and then the Sadler on the right. Those are obviously in my racing colours, and then we've got the bikes obviously in the corner here again. But those are my racing colours, and those are, although they aren't used very much but in van races and utility races, I do like to have them just for completeness. Then we've got the Dubster 6x6, which is my main sort of crew car, with the Bison being sort of my secondary crew car because they can both fit 6 people. Then the Penumbra is here, which is left over from the North Loop endurance race that we did. I'll also link that down in the description. And then obviously the Stinger GT and the Feltzer, they're in exactly the same places as they were before. So that is my first garage. That is, I guess you could say it's a bit of a work in progress. The Feltzer and the Massacro are my 2 favourite cars, and then I like the Stinger GT and the Banshee as well. Those 4 are definitely going to be staying there. The 2 testing spots, they might change a little bit, and also the Penumbra might not stay as well. So those sort of middle spots are open for change, but the front cars and the back cars, they're all going to stay as they are. So I guess now it's time to go and take a trip to my second garage. Now this is a racing garage, and all of the cars are in the same colour. Now that's obviously the colour that you guys all want to know about. I'm not going to actually tell you or confirm or deny, but you can get pretty close depending on, you know, with a few different combinations you can get there if you have a bit of a play about with it. But I'm not going to tell you. I did do a little bit of a joke on one of the live streams that said I would tell everybody if I got 1 million subscribers, but yeah, I can't see that happening anytime soon, so don't bank on that one. So yeah, basically, you know, my garage is over the other side of the town. It's right next to the Los Santos Customs around the airport, which I think is a really good place for it to be, obviously, because you know, you never know when you might need to make changes to your racing cars. And obviously I chose Weasel Apartment and Richards Majestic over there because they had good locations as well. And this garage over here is just a garage. It isn't an apartment. I didn't want a second apartment. I didn't want one of the new houses either, because obviously they're a bit too small with 6-car garages. I would like to see houses where you could have 10-car garages, or even mansions with 20-car garages in the future, but at the moment this is what I'm sticking with. So the garage that I have, obviously Los Santos Customs, is right there. My racing garage is just around this corner, around the back here, and it's quite a little secluded place. I just wanted to have a sort of a garage on its own as a specific place to have all my racing cars in, and this is where it is here. So as you'll see, all of the racing cars are in the same colour. That is basically my colour, representing that. If you see one of those colours, you'll probably know it's me in a race. And here it is. Here's my racing garage. Basically, what all of these cars are, pretty much all of the best cars in each class. So we've obviously got the Zentorno for the supers, we've got the Elegy for the sports. There aren't any carbon spots on the Elegy just yet because I haven't. I'm just messing around with it a little bit. The Blade for the muscle cars, and obviously at the back we've got the 2 bikes as well. Now I did put those at the back just because they don't look quite as good at the front, and they just have a little bit more space to be themselves at the back. So obviously we've got the Sanchez for the off-roaders, and then the Barty for motorbike class. Then we've got the 2 big cars, if you like, the 2 big ones, which is the Huntley S for the SUVs and the Z-Type. Obviously, you know, those are the biggest cars in this garage, so I decided to put them at the back. Then we've got the Shafter and the Blade. The Shafter being the best for the sedans by a long way. The Blade being my muscle car of choice at the moment, but you could probably also use the Dominator and the Ruiner. Then I've got my Exemplar for the coupes, and my Elegy for the sports. And then finally the Rhapsody for the compacts, and the Zentorno for the supers. Now, just to let you know, the Exemplar is probably tied with the Felon and maybe the Zion. You could use that as well. But also on the right hand side there, those 3 cars are all 4-door cars, 4-seaters. Then obviously we've got the 2 performance cars at the front, and then further on that side we've got sort of the older cars, if you like, with the Blade and the Z-Type. So there's a little bit of symmetry going on elsewhere as well, and then obviously the 2 bikes at the back. But yeah, the Exemplar isn't necessarily the one, you know. If you choose each of these cars for your garage and your classes to race with, then you're going to do well. You know, you can't go far wrong with all of these cars in all of these classes. Now there are a few different ones you could use. For example, you could use the Felon or the Zion for the coupes. You could use the Dominator or the Ruiner for the muscle cars. I've still got to, you know, test those out and give a full in-depth brief on which is the quickest. But if you're not going to go wrong with all of those, really. You know, if you want to deck out your garage and have a proper racing garage, you can't go wrong with that. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. Just a quick little look at both of my garages. I'll give you another one when we get sort of mansions or something like that, or I finally figure out what I'm going to do with updating the cars in my garage when I test them all out. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. Let me know what's in your garage down below. I want to know what's in your first garage, your second garage. Do you have a racing garage? All that good stuff. Leave all your comments down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you next time.